What's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today, doing the aftermath video for the Devin Haney versus Joseph Diaz Jr. WBC lightweight title fight that took place back on December 4th, a couple weeks ago, where it saw Devin Haney just cleanly outwork and outclass the very, solid Joseph Diaz. It was really a good fight. Scoring wise, it was pretty simple to score. It was about 8 rounds to 4. You could argue 9 rounds to 3 for Devin Haney. He cleanly won on points, but he got hit with some pretty good shots too. So, Joseph Diaz definitely was in the fight. He just the height and the reach advantage were significant. It was only a couple inches in height, but Devin Haney used it, and the 8 inches that he had in reach was just monumental. So he used that to his advantage and his perfection, and really outclassed a very good former champion, Joseph Diaz. So tough loss for Diaz, but Devin Haney really showed with this victory over Diaz, being a convincing decision, that he's a real player at 135. He really is. I said it coming into the year. I said he had to beat somebody, maybe a couple guys in the top 10, for me to argue that he was legit, and he did that. He went out and beat Jorge Linares, barring a little bit of controversy, at the end of the fight. I didn't like that, Linares was, I didn't like that he was, I didn't like that Haney was holding on for dear life and never got a warning, at all after he got hurt. But he did win the fight against, at that time, I had Linares as a top 5 guy. And then Joseph Diaz Jr., he went out, who was about top 5, top 6, right at the edge of that, and he soundly beat him as well. So that was huge, big time win for Devin Haney. And really, the sky's the limit right now for Devin Haney. He, if guys don't want to fight him now, it's because they're afraid. You're going to be able to make some money off of him. He has a world title. He's got an undefeated record. You should want to fight him. So, what's the aftermath for him heading into the future? Well, it's big. He can, right now, it's the possibility that he could fight George Kambosos for the undisputed title. If that happens, that's going to do wonders for this kid who's only, by the time that fight happens, maybe he'll be 24 years old. He's very young, and he's very good, and he's right there in the mix. There's other possibilities, though. He could get one of the other guys in the top 10, just to keep rolling. Javier Fortuna, guys on that level. He could fight guys like that. You never know. And just to kind of stay busy, so to speak. Or even like Ivan Mendy, who, has never got a title shot, but has always been a solid contender in the WBC rankings, just to kind of stay busy ahead of a major fight. But I would like to see him fight Kambosos. I think I want to see Lomachenko and Kambosos a little more, but I wouldn't mind seeing an undisputed title fight. I'm so into that to me, that's big for boxing right there. And I wouldn't be surprised if these two guys lock horns. And I also wouldn't be surprised if Haney fights Lomachenko next. There's a lot of options and a lot of things, but like I said, the sky's the limit, and all things are pointing up right now for Devin Haney following that big win. And I love what he said after the fight also. When they asked him if he would go to Australia to fight Kambosos, he said he'll go all the way to Jupiter. I love that statement. So that was big. Can't wait to see what happens next for Haney. Now, Joseph Diaz, what's the aftermath for him with this defeat? Second loss of his career. How does he bounce back? It's tough to say. The names are at lightweight, but how real is it that Joseph Diaz can become a world champion by fighting some of these top guys? I think he's going to be an underdog in most of those fights. The top 10 is loaded, though. It's packed, so the big fights can be here. I think Diaz can have success. I think he's definitely a competitive fighter in this division. Outside of maybe Vasily Lomachenko, I don't know if anybody whips Joseph Diaz's ass, but I would love to see Diaz bounce right back. I'd like to see Diaz and Ryan Garcia. That was supposed to happen already. I'd love to see that fight happen next year. I think that's a possibility because they're both with Golden Boy. I think Garcia and Joseph Diaz could lock horns, but we got to wait and see. So, that's it. That's the aftermath for this big lightweight title fight that took place on December 4th. Devin Haney, Joseph Diaz Jr. I hope you guys enjoyed this. True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.